हेलो एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग। सॉरी थोड़ा लेट हो गया। सुनील भाई बेचारे ट्राइंग अ लॉट, इज ट्राइंग वेरी हार्ड टू जॉइन द स्ट्रीम, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली इज हैविंग वाईफाई इश्यूज टुडे। आई थिंक हमारे चैनल पे थोड़ा कर्स चालू है संडे से। ऑल्दो आर्यन हैड कम एंड गिवन अस अ वेरी गुड सुपर चैट, लेकिन संडे को भी स्ट्रीम के पहले मेरे घर पे पूरा पावर चला गया। तभी 3 फेज थे, एक फेज आया, एक फेज से वाईफाई लगा के मैंने कुछ तो काम चला लिया। फिर कल भी कर रहे थे तो कल भी केओस हो गया। एंड टुडे नाउ इट्स सुनील भाई टर्न फॉर हैविंग इश्यूज। तो ठीक है, कभी कभी होता है। सॉरी फॉर मेकिंग एवरीबॉडी वेट। यार, ऑब्वियसली एक बहुत पोलराइजिंग ओपिनियन आने वाले हैं इसमें, एंड आई डोंट डू हेट प्लेयर, हेट स्ट्रीम्स और हेट वॉचेस। मार्कस रैशफोर्ड एक ऐसा प्लेयर है जो मैंने भी क्रिटिसाइज किया है बहुत पास में। हमारा एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है, नॉर्मली दैट व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप का वी पुट दिस द लोगो अप हियर एंड वो बार कोड डालते हैं, जहाँ पे इट्स MUSCM का ऑफिशियल एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है। एंड फॉर नॉन मेंबर्स आल्सो वी हैव वन। And there was a time where Marcus Rashford used to frustrate a lot. He was that potential. जो अभी आजकल हमको लगता है ना गर्नाचो के साथ, like 6 years back used to be Marcus Rashford, but because you knew at 22 उसके पास potential था. Then obviously he had a very good breakthrough season in terms of his highest goals assists under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 2019-2020 में, जहाँ पे उसको इंजरी भी हुआ था। आपको याद है तो बिफोर कोविड he had a double stress fracture, सर्जरी हुआ, रिहैब हुआ, and then he joined up the squad right after COVID जब फुटबॉल वापस शुरू हुआ। आफ्टर दैट ही हैड अनदर इंजरी 2000 एंड 2021 में भी, वहाँ पे उसको आगे 2 साल से वो खेल रहा था, उसको फुट इंजरी था, शोल्डर इंजरी था। एंड लुक, ही हैज प्लेड थ्रू अ लॉट ऑफ पेन फॉर अस। जब भी उसने उसका डेब्यू किया 2015-16 सीजन में, 2016 में पर्टिकुलरली मिडलैंड के सामने, एंड देन आफ्टर आर्सेनल बैक टू बैक 2 मैचेस वेरी बिग फॉर द एज दैट ही वाज एट दैट टाइम, यंगेस्ट गोल स्कोरर एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, जहाँ पे उसका रिकॉर्ड फिर जाके सिर्फ ग्रीनवुड ने तोड़ा उसका। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट कमेंट, आई रियली अप्रिशिएट दैट। एक्सपर्ट गेमिंग फॉर आई गो अहेड, या मुझे भी बहुत रुलाया। मैंने ट्राइंग टू मेक दिस थंबनेल, आई आल्सो फेल्ट लाइक क्राइंग अ लॉट। बहुत रोना आ रहा था मुझे भी। बट या, कमिंग बैक टू द टॉपिक, मार्कस रैशफोर्ड बिफोर ग्रीनवुड आया, ही वाज द यंगेस्ट गोल स्कोरर। मार्कस रैशफोर्ड ने यूरोपा डेब्यू पे स्कोर किया, प्रीमियर लीग डेब्यू पे स्कोर किया, आई थिंक मैनचेस्टर डर्बी डेब्यू पे स्कोर किया था। उसने उसके चैंपियंस लीग डेब्यू पे स्कोर किया था, इंग्लैंड इंटरनेशनल डेब्यू पे स्कोर किया था। ब्रेकिंग रिकॉर्ड्स, अ लॉट ऑफ पोटेंशियल। लुई वैन गाल ने बोला भी था आफ्टर फर्स्ट कपल ऑफ गेम्स की मीडिया को कि डोंट बिल्ड हिम अप, ही इज वन फॉर द फ्यूचर, ही इज अ वेरी गुड प्लेयर, बट ट्रीट हिम वेल। एंड बाय एंड लार्ज इट लुक लाइक वो हैंडल कर रहा था प्रेशर। But there have been start-stop moments where अभी Marcus Rashford is 27 years old as of 31st October. तो 3 हफ्ते, 2 हफ्ते पहले ही is now 27. जब भी एक प्लेयर 27 होता है ना फुटबॉल में, you consider him to be reaching his peak or at his peak. Ages of 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, right? आप कंसिडर करते हो कि प्लेयर आपके पीक पे पहुंच रहा है और ऑलरेडी एट हिज पीक। सो एज अ क्लब हुज इन्वेस्टेड, लेट्स से अकेडमी प्लेयर होता है या कोई क्लब उसको लेने जाता है, तो दे आर अज्यूमिंग दे आर गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन अ प्लेयर हुज इन हिज पीक। अनफॉर्चुनेटली रैशफोर्ड, इवन दो दिस सीजन ही हैज गॉट 4 गोल्स, 2 तो वो EFL गेम में थे अगेंस्ट बार्नली, आई डोंट थिंक ही इज हैविंग अ गुड सीजन स्टिल। एंड बाय एंड लार्ज, ऑल्दो एरिक टेन हाग और रूड वैन निस्टेलरॉय ने ये सीजन ऐसे एक मेंटेन किया है कि हमारे 3 वाइट प्लेयर्स है, एंड दैट इज अ थिन स्क्वाड टू टेक ऑल सीजन। तो दे बीन रोटेटिंग द वाइट प्लेयर्स, इवन दो अहमद वाज अ बेस्ट क्रिएटर इन द फर्स्ट 6 गेम्स, पहले उसको बेंच कराया, फिर गर्नाचो को लेके आया उसके बदले, फिर रैशफोर्ड को चालू करना बेंच किया, चालू किया, started Garnacho on his side, and now they've benched Garnacho in the last match. So in the squad rotation तो होता है. Now it's not only happened this season. ये squad rotation has happened over the last 8-9 years. जब भी Rashford has made a senior debut for Manchester United, ठीक है? एक फेज होता था जहाँ पे people said कि Jose Mourinho के वजह से his development stunted. While Jose Mourinho के अंदर we do realize कि he didn't get enough game time. जब भी मुझे मालूम है, I think in his second season of Jose Mourinho, I think Carragher had come out and said कि I think उसको छोड़ना चाहिए यूनाइटेड, अदरवाइज उसका डेवलपमेंट नहीं होगा और आपका पोटेंशियल नहीं पहुंच पाएगा. Eventually you saw him coming to his own after Mourinho got sacked and Ole took over. where he went on to have a very meaningful impact against PSG. We remember the PSG match, and at the end of the season, he did well. By and large, you look at Rashford's career, right? You can't say it's been terrible. Marcus Rashford is our 12th highest scorer of all time. He's got 135 goals across all competitions. Ronaldo is next at 11 at 145, right? So there's always a point कि हमको लगा कि यार Rashford will be the top 5 highest goal scorers of all time. जहाँ पे number 5 right now is 166 with Dennis Violet, right? Giggs at 165 also on number 6 position. All of the talk was there कि Rashford be that player who should get us 35 goals and assists consistently every season. Unfortunately, वो दो ही बार हुआ है. I think it was 2019, 2020 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I'll just put up the stats here right now so you all understand मैं क्या बात कर रहा हूँ. Let's pull up the stats to make everyone's life easier. There we go. So, 30 goals, 11 assists. That's 40 plus goal contributions in 2022-23. This was his best season. Ironically, under Eric Ten Hag, under whom उसको एक fight हुआ था last season, which was one of his worst seasons, right? Injury issues था, issues with the manager, the squad had injuries, discipline issues, सब था. I agree with this. He's not terrible. He's not an egoistical player. He's not someone इतना हम लोग slate करते उसको. But he's very frustratingly inconsistent. What's up? The peak is Sunil Bhai नहीं join कर पाएंगे unfortunately अभिजीत. Sunil Bhai cannot join. He has Wi-Fi issues तो आज नहीं join कर पाएंगे. This peak is dependent on when they started first team football. In 1980, this was generally 20 plus away. This is no longer the case where you have started playing. Money, I know what you said, and a lot of people say this: players peak early, but someone like Rashford, I refuse to believe that he has already peaked at 24 and by 30 he will be out of his peak phase. I still believe that the best of the player, which means in terms of the overall fitness, unless they've had terrible younger years growing, injuries के हिसाब से, which Rashford's case में आता हूँ मैं कि the double stress fracture that he had, they should be able to be at their best at 27. At their best. I don't think at the way he is right now, the way he's going, his body language, uska focus. I believe it's a lot to do with his off the field issues, which you don't know. ऐसे कुछ है नहीं कि उसका off the field issue है. I just feel he's mentally just trying to fight himself all the time. Anyway, that's थोड़ा आगे जाते हैं, but I do believe it is a lot to do with him on the training ground and with the manager changes. I'll come to all of that, right? So his best season, Marcus Rashford's best season was the first under Tenor, where he's had 41 goals and assists combined. Specifically, if I switch to this, which will give us a better season, 8 goals and 3 assists, which is also not bad. It was quite decent. वर्ल्ड कप के बाद, जब इंग्लैंड के वर्ल्ड कप के बाद, कतार वर्ल्ड कप के बाद आया था, we saw the best of Rashford. Very incidentally that I lined up with United's best run under Eric Ten Hag, where he went unbeaten after a while, which helped us finish top 4 in that season. 16 games में 14 goals and 5 assists. That's the best we've seen of Rashford after the Ole season, where we've seen he had the potential of playing up top, he had potential playing on left, he was able to cut in, take players on, scoring all different kind of goals. We were like, ठीक है, चलो. We are seeing the best of Rashford at the age of 25. So, like Money is saying, peak हो गया उसको चालू. His peak is starting now. This is his best. He's finally done 30 goals plus assists again after the season with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let's just show you that right now. 22 goals and 10 assists. So that's 32 goal contributions. Again, a very good season. Good second run after COVID. Jhaan pe we were struggling. We were outside the top 4. But the form of Greenwood, Rashford, and Anthony Martial, very rare face. Obviously backed by Bruno Fernandes. And to a little bit of credit to also Edison Cavani wahan pe, we were able to break through and get into a good side. Not Cavani, sorry. I'm missing a player. I think I picked up the wrong player. Anyway, sorry about that. We were able to get into a good groove there and finish top 4. So you would say that Marcus Rashford, 135 goals in his United career, 12th in the charts. Important goals leading us into the Europa League finals. जब भी हम जीते थे under Jose Mourinho. Important goal under Louis van Gaal to get us into the final that time of the FA Cup. जहाँ पे he was a starter. In the semi-final, he scored an important goal for us. Important goals versus PSG to take us into the next round under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Good senior season at the age of 25 under Ten Hag, his first season. New manager, new tactics, right? Different set of players around him. Kind of थोड़ा professional. Ronaldo के साथ issues हो रहा था. Jadon Sancho's first season, issues with Sancho adjusting left, right. So everything said and done, Rashford was taking responsibility वहाँ पे. Or Rashford was, after the whole Greenwood scandal broke out, so he was technically that focal point 22-23 में. All of those issues aside, Ronaldo, etc., he broke through, had a very good season for us that time. So we thought कि चलो 22-23 was such a good season, the next season will be better or at least वो match कर पाएगा. Unfortunately not. Injuries were part and parcel of it. He did miss a few matches through injuries. He still featured in 43 games, 8 goals and 6 assists. Well, playing enough minutes of football, 3,000 plus minutes of football, right? It goes to show, yes, ये पूरा squad struggle कर रहा था, but it's not the first time. It's happened on and off in his career, right? He came back from injury in the 2021 season, so 20 season. 2021, again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, before everything else, 57 games, 21 goals and 14 assists, right? So that's about 35 goals, assists and contributions. Like, great. That's a very good sign. That's beautiful. And you're like, this is the best. This is how it's going to be. इससे अलावा और क्या चाहिए आपको? You can't have more than this. He's doing his best job possible. And you are looking at a guy going 30 goals, and a guy giving you 8 goals, 6 goals, 9 goals. Good evening, Aryan. Sorry, I did not miss your super chat. I fully appreciate you giving the super chat. Absolutely appreciate it. But yeah, let me just move to this and share this tab instead. Okay. So you have had the 1920 season where it was COVID, where we saw him getting 22 goals, 10 assists. That's 32 goal contributions. Then 2021, जहाँ पे he's built up, raring to go, playing through injury, 21 goals, 14 assists, so that's 35 goal contributions, 4,000 minutes of football, doing amazingly well. He scored in all competitions. ठीक है? This is a guy you're hoping कि now he's going to carry you into the next part of the season. अभी यहाँ पे रूमर आया 21-22 में, obviously with everything that's happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, उसको sack किया गया, Ralf Rangnick आया, he had injuries himself, played less football because of injuries, 32 goals, 32 games still, 5 goals. Very poor. If you look at the minutes of football, obviously he had a lot of substitute appearances, a lot of issues. Ralf Rangnick was also asked, right, कि क्या हो रहा है इसके साथ यहाँ पे, and he said no, he's the best striker for England. He's going to be the future. They're trying to brush up his form, but 5 goals and 2 assists was starkly poor. And this is when everything was being blamed on Ronaldo. Ronaldo was part of the setup at this time, right? Ronaldo was taking all the chances. Ronaldo's got 28 goals. Ronaldo is stifling Marcus Rashford's growth. Ronaldo is taking all the best chances. He's not on penalties. Bruno Fernandes adjusting. Bruno Fernandes is not able to feed Rashford. Both narratives have always come and gone, right? So you could forgive, one could say, you could forgive all the poor stats before that. And I would say this is poor. This player abhi develop ho raha hai. He's 21, 22 at this point. He still had 13 goals and 8 assists, which is 21 goal contributions. Before that, when he was age 20, 21, he had again 13 goals and 9 assists. He was hitting 20 goals and assists remarkably well. So why is this hate coming for Marcus Rashford? Like, I showed you the one season jo blip tha, wo last season tha, right? And the season before that where he got injured. So where is this hate coming from? Where is this frustration coming from? Where is it coming from where we are going to say that Marcus Rashford is a bad player? Marcus Rashford has to be sold. Even I get confused. And while I'm doing this video right now, you can think that I was rambling. I'm telling you, मुझे ये बहुत polarizing लग रहा है. I find it very polarizing myself. When I also look at the stats and when I speak, I realize maybe I'm speaking from frustration a lot. because these are not bad numbers at this stage for a teenager coming into the team who's constantly in chop and change, chop and change. Manager aa raha hai, players ja rahe hai. He's a young player trying to develop through the mold. While you're comparing him to the likes of Wayne Rooney, longevity, आप compare कर रहे हो उसको to Ronaldo when he had a breakthrough season at United, breakthrough 4-5 seasons. आप compare कर रहे हो to the Bobby Charlton era, that Bobby Charlton had his career from the academy to the end. If you look at Wayne Rooney, for example, look at the consistency Rooney had in the manager, right? And look at what Rashford has had. He had his breakthrough under Louis Van Gaal. After that, he had to immediately play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, correct? After that, he had to play under Jose Mourinho, where you thought that at the age of 20, you're going to see the best of Marcus Rashford. Mourinho's integration of Rashford into the lineup, हम सबको मालूम है, was stagnant. But Mourinho का justification क्या था कि no young player of his age should play so many consistent minutes of football. That is what Jose Mourinho said. He's still, right? If I tied up, because of inconsistency and no track back. मुझे वही लगता. Everyone is making an agenda against Rashford. The issue is expectation is used. The same stats for any other player would be very good. Precisely. Do you still back Shaw if he stays fit? I don't. I don't back Shaw. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. Someone told me please check comments, so I left, man. Vihang, that's what I'm saying. That if you're still here, just bear with me, because while I was hoping to have Sunil Bhai, or I needed a second person to do this episode, I myself am trying to break what is actually criticizable for Marcus Rashford, which I myself have criticized. So I will take accountability for this. मैं खुद Rashford को Trashford जब ये लोग थे ना लोग उसको बोलते थे Trashford. Well, I don't call him Trashford. Look, I understand he's not consistent. He's not doing too well. उसको expectation से अच्छा नहीं खेल रहा है. His shoulders are down. Discipline नहीं है. Don't call a player Trashford. That is something I don't like. But yes, criticize the player. So I was criticizing him myself, and I'm like, bro, क्या चालू है? Why is Rashford not doing so well? I have to see stats, right? So a couple of months back, I did this before the season started, and तब से मुझे ये Rashford का episode करना था, right? Now, sorry, I'll go back to my point where if someone is watching and they're trailing in, Jose Mourinho, 2016, 17, 18, 19 के season के start में sack हो गया, मैंने Solskjaer came, right? So let's go step by step. We all know what happened with Louis Van Gaal. Louis Van Gaal gave him his debut. We are grateful to Louis Van Gaal for that, right? So 16, 17, the first season of under Jose Mourinho. He's played 53 games. Yes, a lot of them were not starts. ठीक है भाई लोग, they were not starts. 11 goals, 7 assists for a 19-year-old. ठीक है, 3,000 minutes of football. Not a lot of it is a lot of minutes, but he didn't have too many starts. He had a lot of substitute appearances in these matches. For a 19-year-old, 11 goals, 7 assists is great. Young upcoming player, top European talent at that point of Papua. Really not bad. Like 19 goals and assists is good. Mourinho season 1. Season 1 into season 2, when season 2 of Jose Mourinho started, and season 3 will come to, obviously. Sorry. Again, this is where you start seeing season 2. Minutes of football, if you notice, season 1 was above 3,000, correct? यहाँ पे 2,680 are your minutes that he has played. Although he played the same number of matches that he played in the first season under Jose Mourinho. So still 13 goals, 9 assists for a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. So that is 22 goal contributions. But हालांकि यहाँ it's very evident, if you remember guys, lot of football pundits were saying, lot of United ex-pundits, ex-players were saying, is Jose Mourinho stifling Marcus Rashford क्योंकि उसको बेंच से बहुत लेके आ रहा है, उसको स्टार्ट्स नहीं दे रहा है. And by and large, why did that happen? Because they got in Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming under Jose Mourinho, obviously, kind of, you cannot say stifled Rashford's growth, but that is when he started going left, where he was playing central a little bit, he went left. Okay, but he was still doing decently on the wing, cutting and developing. And again, at the age of 21, you are like, despite whatever is being said about Jose Mourinho and Marcus Rashford, fallout ki nahi hai, ye bhi nahi hai, pundits are saying he should leave. Minutes were less. Minutes were less, right? Minutes were really, really poor, but he did a decent job. Now coming into when Jose Mourinho got sacked or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got hired. 47 games, more minutes obviously, which came to the second half of the season when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over. 13 goals and 8 assists. अगर आप देखते हो from the ages of 20, 21, 22, 23, he is consistently given you 20 plus goals and assists for a young upcoming player. So this is where now you build the agenda कि भाई ये बंदे में potential है. He has to be the guy in the squad. हमको players आ रहे जा रहे हैं. फाल्काओ आया, डिमारिया चला गया, फाल्काओ चला गया. Abramovich आया, Abramovich injured हो गया, Abramovich is now leaving. Cavani आने वाला था उसके बाद, Cavani had already come at this point. I'm trying to do the math, sorry. Right? Rashford was looked at the point कि अभी ये senior squad player बन गया है. By now 100%, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come into this team. He is going to make Rashford the best player possible. 18-19, he again broke through and gave you 20 goals plus assists in this season. Now comes to 19-20. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we had to play in Europa, correct? 22 goals, 10 assists under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Okay? Injury strikes him. After, even though he's been part of 44 games, he gets injured here. Double stress back fracture. Okay? Like he made Man United. Fair enough. I do feel that. People are forgetting Rashford is another player. You can't hate on it fun. See, you can criticize. I understand this. People say Rashford. I also hated myself. Sometimes people say एक दो गाड़ी निकल जाता है कभी-कभी ठीक है गुस्से में निकल जाता है when a game is on. But by and large, extra abusing is, I would say, avoidable. So this is when Rashford gets injured in the January of 2020 ka season before COVID. He gets a double stress back fracture. Why has this happened? Because he's suddenly playing a lot more minutes. He's been the pivotal point for Manchester United. He's been the only hope of Manchester United for a lot of transitional football. Jab we've seen a lot of highs and lows. Okay, under Mourinho, where you thought we finished second, then we were finishing outside the top four. We won the Europa League, we won the Carabao Cup. Before that, we won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal. Okay, finished fourth, then we finished fifth. Then again we were second under Jose Mourinho. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes in, tries to get us that finish in his next full season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes us finish second. Okay? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes, हमको second लेके आता है. Rashford here in this 2020 season in the start has got in, not in the start, in January. FA Cup, I think, replay था under Wolverhampton Wanderers. So under Wolverhampton Wanderers, I know in that replay, guys, like I said, everybody has their own opinion. I don't know what any other YouTuber has said or not said or whatever it is. I don't think it is agendas or no agendas. मेरे ख्याल से एक simple चीज है. We're all fans. Young is a fan. AB, you're a fan. I know you've been in a lot of our streams. सबके opinions अलग-अलग होते हैं. While talking about Eric Ten Hag, for example, a lot of people are telling me that I'm crazy for saying Eric Ten Hag in. I was never Eric Ten Hag in or out. मेरे लिए एक simple चीज था. I didn't want a round robin or manager system. I believe in the ethos of the club. But I was very specific. मेरा अलग opinion था. Rather, Amorim is in here. I'm obviously going to back the manager because that's how it goes, right? Everybody has their own opinion. I do believe that. So I'll come to this whole topic, AB and Vihang. I'll tell you why in the end the criticism is there. But I'm trying to build you a structure of why Rashford was building up to this potential. Yeah, why were the expectations there? Injury in the season, coming back to that, double stress fracture, 3 months out, COVID happens, COVID में rehab में चले जाता है. When the season resumes, I think in June, July, August, Rashford is available. Rashford comes, Rashford gets goals, links up with Anthony Martial, links up with Mason Greenwood, and ensures कि हम लोग टॉप 4 में फिनिश करते हैं यहाँ पे. Right? So there we go. He helps us get into top 4. 2020-2021 season. 57 appearances, right? The most number of appearances that season. 21 goals and 14 assists. Has 35 goal contributions, 4,000 minutes plus of football. Safe to say, यहाँ पे very safe to say, he has done a very good job. Okay, he is pretty much been your pivotal point. अभी आप देखते हो कि बराबर सीनियर प्लेयर बन गया. He's the age of 24 now, almost. That is what you would want from your number 10 jersey, which you took in 2019. Now he's living up to number 10. He's been involved in assisting. He's been involved in scoring. He's helping your attack sing. Bruno Fernandes आया था, right? In January and everything else. Everything is working like magic. It's working like fire. And you think now that things are going very well. Manager is set. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Things are working out beautifully. And we finished second under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now comes to 21-22, where Ronaldo has joined. Now we see Rashford has injury concerns. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets sacked. Ralph Ragnick takes over. Lots of issues with fitness with Rashford. Matches जो खेल रहा भी है, he's not looking good at all. He's being safeguarded. He's coming off the bench. Worst season, obviously 5 goals and 2 assists. Terrible season. This is where things are wondering कि यहाँ पे क्या चालू है. Things look really awry over here. 21-22, the worst season ever. Okay, guys, bear with me. His worst season. Now, Eric Ten Hag's first season. $30 goals and 11 assists. 41 goals. First time he's done 40 goals plus goals and assist contributions. Age of 25. So you're saying this guy is at his peak. And I agree with Mani. Mani ne abhi bola at 27, the peak might be fading out or he'll be into his peak. I'm saying at 27, I expect him to be in his peak. But here we thought, chalo, peak he's hitting. Things are looking great. He's been a guy who's been going from 20 plus goal plus assists to he's touched 30. He's had a blip under Jose Mourinho. He's got injured. He's played through the pain. Even under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, usko shoulder injury tha, usko foot injury tha. He's missed matches, but he's been rushed back under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's played through the pain. He's got 30 goals plus assists. All in the while, players around him are constantly changing. He's tried to be the number 10. ठीक है? अभी around time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, उसको bumper deal मिलता है. He goes up to 250K a year. Okay? So here you think Eric Ten Hag now, dawn of a new era. Good football after the first few games, बहुत ही खराब था. I showed you the stat earlier, right? After the World Cup, Marcus Rashford has come and given us, if I'm not mistaken, he's come and given us approximately 24 goals plus assists in the 18 games after the World Cup. Helps us finish top 4. Right? Beautiful. So then you come to think, ki chalo, 2023-24, second season of Eric Ten Hag, Marcus Rashford will definitely be 30 goals, 35 goals to वापस देगा ही देगा, right? No matter what. Ronaldo is now gone. All the focus will be on him. हम लोग नया striker sign करेंगे. Højlund को लेके आए. Young player. So again, expectations were from Marcus Rashford. Greenwood is out of the squad now. Things are going very bad. Jadon Sancho का अब तक issue नहीं हुआ है जो happened middle of the season. Marcus Rashford, unfortunately, in this whole time in that second season, has given us the biggest stinker. जहाँ पे even whatever said and done, he has given us only 8 goals and 6 assists in 43 matches. Now you wonder, यहाँ पे has discipline issues, fallout with Eric Ten Hag. Off the field issues are catching up. People like stop donating, charity, जो भी तुम कर रहे हो after the A23, OBE, etc., etc. Leave all of that. Focus on football. Age of 25, 26. Age of 26, this is happening. Now this season, 14 games in, he's on 4 goals and 3 assists. Safe to say, at 14 goals and 3 assists, 14 games at 4 goals and 3 assists, underwhelming. जहाँ पे पहले 4 मैच में in the Premier League और 3 मैच में he had 0 shots on goal and 0 shots in the box, 0 crosses in the box, which led to any potential threat. Then against Southampton, he got some form. फिर बांटली के अगेन 2 गोल मारे, पोर्टो के अगेंस्ट उसने गोल मारा. Very good to see that. So, what is the hatred coming from? This is a guy who, after I've showed you all of this, anyone who's watching this, if the order is up and down, I apologize. Yeah, this was a two-person episode in my mind, so I wanted to build off some conversation. But 135 goals overall as a Manchester United player, 12th in the all-time list. एक point पे the youngest goal scorer after that Greenwood took that, scored on all his debuts. So where is the problem with Marcus Rashford for United fans? One is number one, the wages. I believe, unfortunately, the last living symptom of giving Rashford such a bumper contract is what is hurting him from the fans' point of view of expectations. ये Glazers Woodward का एक last जो एक खचड़ी हुआ था ना, that they've given him this 300k almost a week, is what is hurting him a lot more. That being said, a lot of murmur was also there कि शायद वो चला जाएगा, उसको पैसा नहीं दोगे, because at that point he was the hottest talent in Europe, behind Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe 3 years back, right? So United wanted to secure his services. They gave him that 250k plus bonus deal. Because of those expectations, the Naya bumper deal, even those stats I have showed you, it's just the expectation based on those numbers and not his stats. Apart from last year under Ten Hag, which was his worst ever since he made his senior career debut, he's not been a terrible player. But जो हमको believe किया गया था कि Marcus Rashford is going to be the next generational talent at United. Wayne Rooney hoga. Wayne Rooney was bought at the age of 18 from Everton, right? Ronaldo was got into this mold from Sporting Lisbon. Since then, we've been thirsting for a player to come in, attacking player with flair. कि कोई तो आके ये mantle लेगा. And no one has been doing that, right? After all the bullshit we've seen since Alex Ferguson has left. So at 2016, at the age of 17, जहाँ पे वो आया, since then to 2020-21, we saw Ten Hag's first season. We're like, yes, finally, this is a Marcus Rashford we've been waiting for. Yeah, Marcus Rashford will deliver. And then last season comes along. And that, I believe, was such a poor season for Manchester United. Itne general mein, injuries, player fallouts, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford apparently were close friends. That affected Marcus Rashford too. United fans had nobody else to pick on. So they went after Marcus Rashford. That is the media narrative. I do believe that there is some truth in that कि हमने उसको बहुत ही harshly criticize किया when the whole team was under delivering, where Eriksen was not available, Casemiro was not available, Varane was out, Martinez was out, and this young guy still at the age of 25 who's been probably a bright light, knight in shining armor apart from the 2 seasons with Grayson Greenwood. He's been your number one target. Lekin he did let himself down last year. He should have done better. At that point of time, he was the senior most player from that young attack. Højlund was younger. Greenwood उसके पहले young था. Sancho and him were at the leg, but Sancho was in this team only 1 year at that point of time. ठीक है? So the expectation were on him that he'll be able to deal with the pressure. He was given number 10 in 2019, right? He would pressure deal कर पाएगा. He will be the next guy after Zlatan left. He'll be able to deal with the number 10 and everything else. So the fans built up the pressure after the wages, after the performances, and then we've seen the decline. Now, dramatically, क्या हुआ है last season and this season start में? Even though he's been little more decent this year compared to last year. And guys, the season is still new. But where you believe that the issue lies is he looks like a player in some matches कि उसको खेलना नहीं है. थोड़ा-थोड़ा लगता है कि he looks disinterested. Not that he hates the club, he doesn't want to play for the badge. It looks like he's disinterested को उसके दिमाग में वो खो गया किधर अंदर. He's mentally checked out somewhere where he's just lost. So he's a player I maintained since last year. He needs immediate help. I don't know उसका support staff क्या है. I don't know what United are doing. I don't know कि Ten Hag ने क्या try किया था कि नहीं try किया था. I don't know how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer built him up and kept him confident. I believe since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left, something in him has hit very hard. या personal life से कुछ हुआ है या कुछ तो हुआ है. I'm not justifying it. I'm try to giving you facts that we've read and we know. I believe this that yes, he was his best under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and yet the best finished product we saw was Ten Hag's first season. You will miss Ruud after some games. I hope not. To be devil's advocate, I think hate doesn't seem from performance. I think it's on the expertise. He's supposed to be a number one, leading the way, ever more despite rather than hate. So this is the problem, right? Ankush, his fans are saying, is he a number one? He doesn't play striker anymore for the longest time. वो left पे खेलता है. We have a striker. We have Højlund now. Before that, we had Ronaldo, which caused a lot of problem with fans with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. उसके पहले Cavani आ रहा था, but under Cavani he was playing well with Cavani and Greenwood, etc. Right? But at that point, बेचारा Rashford had injuries with his shoulder and leg, but he was playing through the pain. So I agree with you one thing. He's not lived up to expectations. Last season before that, 2022-23, he lived up to expectations. Last season, you can say, was a blip. So is it fair to say कि ये season उसका last chance होगा under a new manager, under Amorim? Should he do his best to show Amorim that he still wants to play for United? I don't think he doesn't want to play for United. उसको obviously United के अंदर खेलना है, right? And this is why somebody in the past said there are a lot of agendas against him, Indian YouTubers, foreign YouTubers. Bro, see, I don't work on agendas, and I don't think other people agendas भी करते हैं. ठीक है, everyone in their own channel has their own point of view. That I respect all United fans as much as I might disagree or not agree with them. I believe that everyone is frustrated. Na last 1 year specifically, या last 2 साल में इतना frustration है that people have got angry at United and some players. तो गुस्सा हाल ही में निकलने वाला है stream पे या Twitter पे या WhatsApp groups पे. So I unfortunately have always maintained that I maintain my right. मैं बहुत strongly disagree करता हूँ with the comment section on Twitter, on WhatsApp. But I can't always say that one person is fully wrong unless you're really hatefully or bigot या आप बहुत ही racist बनते हो. I can't always tell you you're wrong. Everyone has right to the opinion. But I agree with you on one thing. In this point, I agree with you, right? Bruno had 28 goals for others. This is what we expect from Rashford. But this is what I'll tell you. But Ankush, was he a focal point? Was Rashford number 9 or was Holland number 9? Rashford was dealing with a system in which he is now trying to link up with Højlund, who is supposed to be our number 9 through and through. जो आया है अटलांटा से, who's had his one breakthrough season and United have gone and bought him for 70 million. that बंदा अपना खुद के प्रेशर पे जी रहा है. Now Rashford has to do one more adjustment to one more number 9, adjust his game a little bit, link up play. But Bruno Fernandes is there. Bruno Fernandes doesn't miss matches. So Rashford for the last 4 seasons has got Bruno Fernandes as a consistent focal point to link up with. So why is that gap also coming last year? Okay? That is the puzzling part. So somewhere, somehow last season, Marcus Rashford's head has gone down. He's lost in his head. Performances have dropped. Agendas from obviously, biggest YouTube Manchester United channel in the world. Bada agenda tha uske liye, constantly attacking him, making videos, calling him shit, PSG bech do. Again, no comment on that. Everyone has their opinion, whatever it is, right? Everything said and done, and I am saying I still advocate a little bit more for Marcus Rashford after I do my research ये episode पे. I do believe that yes, as fans, we have a right to demand more from him or expect more from him, sadly, because he has shown us that he can. He has shown us कि वो बंदे में potential है. We've seen his pace. हमने देखा है कि he can take on players. We have seen that he can do more than aimlessly take shots. We've seen that he can literally break through the line and have a range of finishes. He is good at heading the ball. He's good at dinking it over the keeper. He's pretty good with both his feet, right? Easily expectations are there. And I don't blame fans at all. I cannot say that we should lower our expectations with him. Despite what I've showed you in the last half an hour, मैं ये नहीं बोलूँगा कि expectations आप lower करो, right? But where I think everyone says is that he should 100% be sold. And when I spoke about this in the start of the season, मैंने तभी बोला था under Eric Ten Hag too, कि if he has an underwhelming season at the age of 27, शायद हमको consider करना चाहिए उसको बेचना, क्योंकि at the age of 26, 27, for your most experienced attacker, unfortunately, despite whatever's happened, transition of the club, players around him, manager, style of football, it has stifled his growth, and that is responsible for his career being in a slight decline. We can't afford to have our best youth academy product be in a decline, because क्या हो रहा है कि then he's going to occupy a position where we are hoping that he'll deliver at some point, where he's not. हम प्लेयर साइन भी नहीं कर पाएंगे क्योंकि हम उसको बेचना पड़ेगा उसको उसके लिए, because it will be pure profit. So before the season started, I told Sunil and I discussed this कि ये शायद उसका last season होगा if he has a very poor year like last season. Although last season he had a few injuries. It will be hard to justify the next year जब भी वो 28 होगा कि he will be our focal attacker or winger again. हालांकि यहाँ पे you have Højlund who has to develop. You have Ahmad who's breaking in. You have Garnacho who's coming in. So do you then have hope you let Garnacho develop one more year slowly, give Ahmad one more year slowly to develop, and you leave Rashford in one more year for that cover so that Garnacho Ahmad have less pressure? I don't think so. Unfortunately, जो अभी हुआ ये season में with Ten Hag being sacked, Sancho gone, Anthony pretty much on the verge of leaving. You have just 3 white players and you have 2 positions. So you will see, injuries aside, Rashford featuring a lot under Amorim. I do believe that. Now it comes to Rashford. Does he feel a fresh lease of life? Even though he had a great season under Ten Hag, उसका first season, something went wrong last year. Last year was his worst. Is he got enough in him? Does he have a good support system? I hope someone at the club coming in, the new sports psychologist जो Amorim लेके आ रहा है, they sit down with Rashford and they tell him, "Bhai, we know your potential. You know your potential. Fans know your potential. But this is what we expect from you. Let's start from here. You've got 4 goals, 3 assists in about 14 games this year. Obviously not at your best level. हाँ, but उसको बहुत sub किया जा रहा है. He's one thing in his thing is that when he looks decent, he is being subbed off in the 57th, 58th, 59th minute. So he's not playing full 90 minutes, right? Now, is it because of managing game time? Does he have injuries we don't know about? Yeah, एक strategy है. This was the ETH and Ruud van Nistelrooy strategy. I still do believe that under Amorim, he has the career for sure. At United, he has a career for sure. Lekin, if in the first 10 matches, let's say till January where we play Liverpool before the international break, agar jo we see Rashford not scoring more than 2 goals and 1 assist and not doing a good job, I think the argument that at 28 years next year to keep Marcus Rashford at United becomes a much tougher one to have. And it would be very sad to see him go. But he can't have a poor season this year, which is why ये thumbnail मैंने बनाया है, and which is why this debate is going on right now. Let me pick up some comments right now. I lost my faith in Rashford. I want to ruin his time trying to survive him and trying to build a team around him, which Ten Hag tried to do. Amorim should stick to his principles and gameplay. I don't think Amorim is the kind of guy एक जो player पे rely करेगा. If you have a lot of start-stop players who are, तो आपके पास अभी एक Garnacho है, Ahmad है, Højlund है, Xerxes है, who are all trying to get into this team. They are all young players getting into this team. ठीक है? They are 24 and younger. At that point, as Amorim, आप क्या करोगे? You hope कि a senior player like Rashford you can rely on along with Bruno Fernandes. This is another problem where I feel Amorim will give him some slack. I respect your views, but I'm sorry if a player needs another player to be at the peak of performance. It's probably not what we think of him. That's my just view. I think maybe I misspoke. I'm not telling you that he needs another player. What I'm trying to say is कि while he's trying to be at his peak, उसके बाजू में the personnel has constantly changed, which is what I believe has hampered his growth. You look at Vinicius Junior's development at Real Madrid, who he had with him, Benzema for all those years. Rodrigo came next to him later. Uske pehle kaun tha? A player developing in a club needs certain consistent senior figures and coaching staff to make sure that they all know what this guy is meant to do. And I believe कि जहाँ पे the new coaching staff has come in and gone every 2 years, that's hampered his growth for sure. Not giving him an excuse, but this for me is a fact. Or what's potentially hampered his growth. For managers have come and gone, but still Rashford and Shaw are there. These two idiots have killed our left. I don't think Rashford I'll compare to Shaw because Rashford has played through the pain a lot. I know it's unfair to Shaw also because Shaw has got a career-ending injury, almost he's come back from that. But I do agree. I think Luke Shaw definitely has to go for me. There's no point against that. This is what I'm talking about, George. I don't know कि ये physical issue because physically when he's having a good game, he's again beating players, taking players on and getting good finishes. So I think it's a mental issue. कौन सा Davies? Alphonso Davies? I don't think so. I think we will be a winger short. So while we need Davies for left back, left wing back, we can't let go of Rashford for that. Yeah, exactly. Why is it that under manager Rashford's first season is good, but after that he has let down all the managers is a concern for me. So yes, unknown star. I was going towards the end of the episode with this point. I'll come back to this. I'll just take the other 2 comments. One thing I'd say, the season has been decent. He could have easily got more season goals. Exactly. So Ankush, this is my point, right? Last season was a blip. This season, he's had a decent game. देखने में लग रहा है कि बंदा ज्यादा पॉजिटिव लग रहा है, बंदा ज्यादा टेक ऑन कर रहा है, बंदे में पेस ज्यादा है. Again, here you can say not having a consistent fullback behind him. It was Dallo for 7 games, and then Mazraoui. Is that hampering him? Just say, right? I'm not giving excuses for Rashford. I'm trying to state factual things that have happened to make you understand that maybe he's an unlucky player, but he's also had issues. Both. It's a mixture of both worlds. मैं बिलीव करता हूँ कि एक भी कभी कभी इशू होता है ना लाइफ में, even though it's the opposite side's mistake, पहले अपना गलती ढूंढो. So I'm here. What I'm doing is I fully agree कि Rashford in the end has to do more. He's not living up to his potential, his price tag, his transfer fee, his wages. But at a certain point, you can agree, guys, कि 35% the club has let him down because of the chop and change, coaching changes, player changes. वहाँ पे उसका, playing in and out for the next 5 years with the same attack is a big difference than playing with a different striker every alternate season. That's what I feel. This I agree with you. Last game was very poor. यहाँ पे आती है point उसकी inconsistency की, and the whole point of this episode and what I said to Sunil in the summer. I believe no matter what, I believe अगर जो in this season he doesn't give us a good performance, we should look to move him on in the summer, unfortunately, because then you have Garnacho, Ahmad, hopefully will have breakthrough seasons properly. Then what does Rashford do here? If Garnacho cements left and Ahmad cements right, Rashford cannot be top striker because Højlund supposed to be number 9. तो Rashford का काम क्या आता है, कैसे खेलता है ये स्क्वाड में? Kobe Mino will play more of a player midfield holding next to Ugarte, or he could also play next to Bruno Fernandes. A system could change in Amorim. So where does Rashford fit into this whole piece if he doesn't perform well this year? So I do believe genuinely he's had inconsistencies under managers. He has had his first season good under a manager, then second season been average. But like I showed you all in the stats, if you go back into the first 30 minutes of the video, if you're watching this right now, कि आप पहले 30 minutes में जाओ, I've showed you season by season how he's had good seasons and average seasons. You can't really say bad seasons. I believe as United fans, he became our focal point of hope for the last 8 years because nothing else was working out. Before Bruno Fernandes आया, उसके पहले nobody or nothing else was really working out. Paul Pogba, our youth player, जाके आया, Pogba did not work out. Jesse Lingard utterly failed. Martial signed, Martial, Rashford, great. Few games, Martial fail हुआ. Greenwood came in, Greenwood का issue हो गया, Greenwood out. So Rashford has become a United fans' focal point of hope, of endearment, of love, also hate and criticism because एक consistent बंदा रहा है for the last 9 years now for us. So sadly, he gets all of this adulation, love, hate, criticism all at one point, which at might certain point might be too much for one player. But वो बंदे में potential है, and which is why I believe the criticism will not stop, and which is why I believe under Amorim he has a last big chance to kind of revive his United career. I do believe कि अगर जो वो छोड़ के चला भी गया समर में, PSG चला गया, बायर्न चला गया, I don't know where else he could go. He might go on to have a very good career still. But I believe at Manchester United, अगर जो उसको एक अच्छा career उसका revive करना है, तो under Amorim might be potentially his last chance. But all of this being said, let's wait for Ruben Amorim to come in. Let's hear his views about the players after a few weeks. What does he think about Marcus Rashford? What does he think about Amad Diallo, about Garnacho, about Højlund, about Xerxes? उसको क्या लगता है about Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount in midfield? We got a better idea about all of that. फिर मालूम पड़ेगा कि how much time does Rashford have under Amorim? That's what I think. Keep. Right, Hush, that's the basic point. A player like him has to get you a combined 25 goals plus assists at least for me to say he should be kept. So I agree with you. Agar jo he crosses the 25 figure mark, I will keep him. Hopefully, though, this 25, again, this figure mark will be at a time where the performances match up to it and not in the matches जहाँ पे लगता है कि अभी season खत्म होने आ रहा है, ज़्यादा hope नहीं है, and he somehow drags us into top 4. Sorry, it's a race to drag us into top 4. Even if he does that, right? If he does, I don't want it to be कि important matches where he's not done well and he's done well in other matches where he's got a decent, but big matches he's gone missing. So it's a very contingent thing. I believe if he does 25 goals plus assists, he should be kept next year. But again, if he's gone missing in big matches, I would really properly analyze this end of the season but I believe I want to see that much from him. This comes to the other question. अभी के लिए Ten Hag system चला गया है. So where do you play him? Ahmad on the right is the best. Garnacho plays well on the left. So I do believe we'll see very few matches जहाँ पे Rashford, Garnacho and Ahmad will finish 90 minutes each match. I do believe कि rotation चालू रहेगा under Amorim as well, looking at the way he's going to play. But Rashford should be kept now to the left wing position. And if we do see a 3-5-2, 3-4-2-1, I think he should play alongside Bruno Fernandes behind the striker with the option of drifting left, supporting Bruno midfield and taking the ball left. I think that's where he should be. I agree with you, that guy, AB. This is what we need. The left wing back position behind him might help stabilize his career. देखा जाए तो राशि का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खत्म जब होने नहीं वाला है, उसको प्रीवियस सीजन पे ऐसा परफॉर्मेंस ड्रॉप करता देता है. दिस इज द थिंग, शनाया नहीं मालूम हमको कि ये क्यों हुआ. द ओवरलैप और द कोइंसिडेंस इज वेरी अनकैनी. जब ये नया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट आया, सब कुछ हुआ आफ्टर Ten Hag's first season. The next season, last year, turned out to be a full dud. To criticize him solely also, this is why I feel it's too harsh, क्योंकि वो पूरा सीजन लास्ट ईयर एक फेलियर था. Out and out failure, from injuries to manager tactics to all the players, including Bruno Fernandes. Out and out failure. To just blame Rashford for last season is, which is why I'm saying poor. But Rashford also had a poor season. Bruno had a poor season. Casemiro last year had a poor season. Fit hua tabhi. Last year was a full write-off for United. It was one of the terrible seasons I've ever seen in our life. So that's what I'm saying, unknown star, which is why I said before I started the point, it will be very unlikely to see Garnacho, Ahmad and Rashford all play 90 minutes in this rest of the season. I believe a lot of rotation is coming anyway. So based on that, if you see Rashford getting 25 goals and assists, I would definitely keep him, which means कि limited time, limited minutes, adjusting style of play, whatever. I hate using the style of play, but understand, if he has done a good job, I would say ठीक है. But if he is not able to adjust to Amorim's system, obviously it's uneasy. He has to be sold, sadly. Not left wing back, right? George, I don't think that's what he's saying. Sorting out for me, Mazraoui at left wing back, to have the freedom of playing Rashford either that inside player in the 3-5-2, yeah, in the normal formation, let Rashford just play left winger with good backing behind him, is what might potentially see you. So again, Shaw, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer season when he played that whole season, and Rashford is in front of him, you saw the best. Okay? Eric Ten Hag first season also, when you saw his best, it's when you had a consistent pairing behind. I believe for the best of an attacker, it's also best to have a consistent pairing in the back. But look, this all might to everybody else sound like, "Are yaar, you're the defending players," and to others it will be like, "Are you have a United ka, you have a agenda against Rashford." I've already got both of these comments in the start of the chat. Either it's a Rashford against agenda like other YouTubers. Yeah, I'm defending Rashford. Look, everybody has their own views. I'm giving you my whole holistic overall picture, what I feel here. Yeah. मुझे लगता है कि there are a lot of reasons why Rashford's career has stagnated. A lot of blame goes on Manchester United's chop and change. A lot of the fault lies with tactical adjustments. But at a certain point, जब भी आपको एक contract दिया जाता है, it's because you say you can deal with the pressure, you were the face of the media, you were doing very well. Somewhere, somehow, he's let himself also down and the club down. Where I give him grace, या उसको मैं मेरा adulation देता हूँ या salute देता हूँ. Playing through injury in one of our worst phases where our players were not the best. We didn't know before Bruno Fernandes आया उसके पहले कि क्या होने वाला है. He played through a stress fracture, literally carrying our attack. So he was our hope after that point. He played through a very bad leg injury after that through a whole season. So that's why he gets my grace, he gets my adulation. लेकिन उसके बाद, he's the season of Eric Ten Hag aside, his first season, he's left us wanting. Now again, you're like Ronaldo आया उसके बाद, it stifled his career. Jose Mourinho stifled his career. I'm doing a whole recap, guys. If you're joining right now, मैं पूरा recap कर रहा हूँ कि Mourinho stifled his career, Ronaldo joining stifled his career. All possible true. I can't say any of them are definitely wrong or wrong points या गलत है or giving grace. But at a certain point, I do believe कि it is up to or down to the player also. And I do believe कि we could have and we should expect a lot more from him, which is true. And I still, which is why I believe कि अगर जो ये साल ये अच्छा performances नहीं दे पाता है on the field, probably right thing to do would be to sell him. Football chamber will connect later at a future date. थोड़ा बात करते हैं. Sometime after the break, we'll see what we can do. Definitely, let's figure something out. Maybe United have a good chance. Okay. I do believe, yeah, I do believe Ruben Amorim. If you believe the hype, I do believe that he has it in him. The ability है उसमें to turn things around, to probably help Rashford get to the best part of his career, to let Rashford develop his career better. Yeah, develop nahi, yeah, to help Rashford finally hit and be back in his peak. Rashford should be in his peak already for the last 2 years already, right? जो we saw 2022 में. So in his peak right now, Rashford is having a terrible time. Right now, he shouldn't. Abhi at a certain point, देखो यार, again, we've had a terrible start on Eric Ten Hag. All our players have not been clinical. Garnacho has got the most number of chances. Second, Hoyland. Third, Rashford. Again, there you're finding a case in which you can be like, Rashford को क्यों हम blame कर रहे हैं इतना? He's not got a best chances. He's got chances, but not a best big chances to finish. Garnacho has got them. So I do believe that under Amorim, there is again full hope that Rashford can be his best that we know. And he can adjust. And he's got the pace still. He's got the skill set. He's got the finishes. But yeah, it's a long season, guys. It's a long season. This is my point, right? Now, let's say you play Rashford under Amorim with Bruno Fernandes, with Hoyland up top. ये 3-5-2 होता है. Then Rashford is doing a lot more running. Ahmad, Rashford, Garnacho, who plays in that two with Bruno Samjo, will be doing a lot more running. So then, do you say Rashford is getting more time on the ball, but he's not getting the ball in? So there's a lot of ifs and buts coming into this whole system. I will be okay only. ठीक है, like, give me a second. Sorry, I'm getting a very bad cold. Sorry about that. देखो, 27 games are left in the season, Premier League में. And like you rightly said, a lot of teams are looking very average. Tottenham, despite beating us, are only 2 points ahead of us. Arsenal and Chelsea are on 19 points. We're on 15, only 4 point gap. On paper, new manager bounce आता है, you can revitalize careers. Sorry, allergies. I do believe Cameron has a decent chance, maybe, to get us fourth. But मैं जो last few streams में बोल रहा हूँ and जो मैंने बोला था 2-3 महीने पहले, and I've gone on मैंने the Monka stream, I've gone on Ankit Bhai stream, and I believe अगर जो Arsenal is having a poor season right now, and they are ninth, sorry, and they are off 9 points off the pace. And Chelsea, you believe, who don't have too much serious football to play, Conference League है, but they have a whole different team for that. And Arsenal का slide continue होता है, then maybe you have a chance. But at the way it is going, जहाँ पे Liverpool most likely at least third to finish करेगा, Man City would be second. Arsenal, let's say they come back in their first. So let's say 1, 2, 3 will be Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool. Chelsea look very likely कि वो fourth cement कर पाएंगे because of squad depth, which United don't have. And that means कि United के लिए be very tough to finish. But अभी के only 4 points behind. Chelsea are also inconsistent. Some matches they look like they are playing very well. Some matches they look like they're not good enough. They're not getting as many goals. So I wouldn't say, okay, you cannot expect to finish fourth. I believe Amorim coming in will definitely target fourth. Viewers who watched the Premier League का 11 मैच ये सीजन, there is no United fan will come and tell me कि fourth का hope नहीं है. And I don't believe Amorim also come in being like, I don't think top four is a realistic target. But I won't be the most disappointed that we won't finish because मैंने last 12 साल में already बहुत कचरा देख लिया है. So unfortunately, I've adjusted my expectations. No, I will adjust my expectations come May. But from now, if you ask me and people come and tell me कि write off Premier League season, I would say no chance. This squad has decent enough depth to be a fourth place team at least. Amorim is a smart enough manager to know how to get results. Other teams are dropping points, तो hope तो है. फिलहाल आर्सेनल ने हमको hope दिया है कि they are dropping points, City is dropping points, but चलो, end of the day, City will go on an unbeaten run. They'll finish first or second. Liverpool is on a very good run. So at best, they'll finish third, even if things go very bad for them. So we have probably only third or fourth to look at. So it is tough. But right now, you can't tell me you write off that fourth place finish. I don't think you can. I don't think Amorim can, and I don't think you should. But anyway, we are gone 1 hour into this episode. I think if I speak anymore, I'll be rambling about. But this was our first player analysis episode. I think next one we'll probably talk about Diego Dallo. We'll talk about Bruno Fernandes. Okay. But yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, if you're still on this, watching this now, please leave enough likes. Please subscribe kar dena. Trying to reach 2,000 subscribers at least before December. Help us get to way before that, hopefully. And let's see how things go. But chalo, Amorim is in here. Today is officially at Carrington. He's met Darren Fletcher. Let's see what news we get from that. कल उसके बारे में ज़्यादा बात करेंगे. Yes, Football United. I believe कि अगर जो we do end up unfortunately selling Rashford next year, I think PSG or Bayern seem to be the likely targets. There is no scope of Barcelona or Real Madrid, if you ask me. So yeah, that is my take on Rashford. I will sum it up again before this episode closes. From 2016 to 2023-24 last year, Marcus Rashford is probably our best academy graduate in terms of the transitional football he has had to see, the manager chop and change, personal injuries, expectations, media pressure, club pressure, fan expectations. He's had very prolific seasons. He's had a very poor season last year. He deserves to get some of the criticism he's got last year because he did a poor job despite injuries. He was very poor. But I also would leave this episode again with this anecdote, with this little point key. He's had to adjust not only with change of managers, but change in players around him. And at times, I believe if you wanted him to be the best player in England, like he was thought to have been, you can't achieve that by changing his attackers around him, his midfielders around him, and definitely no consistent left back behind him. I don't know if any player could thrive and be the best player in the country, at least, or in the team with that many inconsistencies. So I believe Manchester United's unfortunate situation in the last decade is a lot to blame for Marcus Rashford as we see him right now. But I am still not given up full hope. जो मैंने बोला था August में, I believe this season he can still come good for us, and I hope he does. If he doesn't, though, ठीक है, he will leave and the world will move on, sadly, because that's the reality of football. But like one last time under Amorim, I really want to see Rashford do well. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Sunil Bhai will be back tomorrow doing Devil's Advocate with Prashant. Maybe I'll join, maybe I won't. If the episode was a little rambly, I apologize because a two-person argument tha, back and forth and a lot more process. But yeah, chalo, thank you so much for tuning in again. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for your comments. Leave a like before you leave, and I will see you tomorrow.